Hello world, it's the day after Christmas, and as usual one should be wearing one's Christmas jumper, which I dutifully am. One can't do without a jumper from Marks and Spencer, so here it is. I hope you like it, folks. I'm on here this morning to say just a thank you to everyone who subscribed to me over the past 10 years, because 2018 will be my 10th anniversary on YouTube. I've only got 1,500 subscribers, which is not amazing considering that some people that have more talent and flair than me can manage to sort of pick up 1,500 for breakfast. But for me, it's always been my proud assertion that my corner of YouTube is actually a nice corner of YouTube. I don't get people flaming. I do monitor the site quite often, and anything that seems just a little bit unsavoury I take off. I'm quite happy to accept people's criticisms. Loads of people commented last time about the sound on the last video that I made, which was absolutely dire, and I do apologise for it, and I will try better this time. Hopefully this Canon's doing a very good job of recording me. Okay, but anyway, just thank you so much. I was going to put a tweet on Twitter this morning to say, you know, to mention, you know, the names of a few people that have been really supportive, but then I was worried that I'd miss someone out and then someone would get upset and whatnot, so I don't want to do that. So what I'm saying is that all those people that have supported me over the years, right from, you know, the beginning of 2008 when I made that first Aber Anomalies video. In fact, actually that wasn't my first video. If you can find my first video on YouTube, I might give you a Smartie or a peanut or something. I'll do a YouTube giveaway! No, I won't. I won't, but yeah, you can have 10 points if you can actually find my first video. But yeah, to all intents and purposes, it was the Aber Anomalies that started me off 10 years ago. And yeah, I've always said, yeah, this is the nicest corner of YouTube. And yeah, I'm just so pleased. Over the years, if you're one of the people that has helped me, then thank you so much. Just to say thank you and well done. And it's all those little commenters and stuff like that. You know, even people that have bought stuff from my eBay, occasionally when I flog something on eBay, and they say, oh, I bought it because I saw your channel, and that's nice. So, and that has happened before, believe it or not. So there we go. Thanks ever so much, everybody, and bye. Right, that was part one of my video, the nice bit. All right, I've got a couple of just little horrid bits that I don't really want to kind of spoil the what's-its of Christmas, but some people have probably had it spoilt. Lewis Hamilton, you are a cock. That's number one. Lewis Hamilton decided, well, he didn't know really, I suppose, that little children dress up. The minute that they see a box of clothes that they've got access to, they will dress up. And they will put on whatever it is that takes their fancy to put on. Okay, I know this because I spent a large majority of my life in infant classrooms, and I've seen it. I've seen boys in long dresses, I've seen boys in leotards, I've seen girls in soldiers' outfits and policeman outfits and stuff like that. They just put the clothes on because they're there and they like them, and it might just be the colours that they like or something like that. To even say to the child's face, oh, boys don't wear dresses, is just really unkind. It's really unkind, because the boy was only just wearing the dress because it was there and they probably liked the colours and it was nice and it was something that mummy wears, so why, you know, if mummy wears it, then why can't I wear it, kind of thing. Nothing to do with sex, by the way, or your gender orientation or anything that, you know, people get quite hot under the collar on about YouTube nowadays. It's just to do with the fact that they are innocent and that they are curious. So then, not content are Lewis Hamilton with thinking, it's a bit embarrassing, it's a bit of a threat to my masculinity. I've got a boy here, one of my boys, one of my own, what wears a dress. So he's thinking like that, I'm uncomfortable about it, rather than just keeping that discomfort to themselves, or just having a discreet word with the child's mother or something like that, who would say, get over yourself, Lewis, don't be such a cock. Instead, he goes and posts to his millions of followers on Instagram, thereby shaming the child. And then because he shamed the child, and because a few people on social media have got pissed off, good, quite rightly so, he then says, I'm so sorry, I've interfered with my nephew's self-expression and all this kind of stuff that, he's obviously got his publicist to write something. Because I'm sure that someone that hasn't got the brains to work out that someone who put, a child that puts a dress on is just playing. Someone who thinks, I know, I'll have to share that discomfort I feel with a million people that didn't care. I'm sure that he's really got the nouns to work out, the vocabulary to work out what suddenly went up on Twitter and what, now that the post's down on Instagram. But I'm afraid the damage is done. You're going to need to do a lot more than that, I'm afraid, Lewis Hamilton. And one of the things that you might want to do is post a picture of you and your nephew and just say how proud you are of him. Because, these things don't go unnoticed. I have memories of similar things, of similar things happening to me. They don't go away. They absolutely don't go away. All right? So that is bad thing number one. And bad thing number two that I want to rant about this morning is a 6-year-old boy that's got killed, shot by the deputy sheriff of somewhere in Texas. Somebody, a 30-year-old woman, had been suspected of stealing a car. So somehow or other, we can actually justify the policeman breaking into the mobile home and shooting the 30-year-old. And then, the bullet, another stray bullet, goes through a wall and kills a 6-year-old. Of course, that 6-year-old's death, another totally innocent kid, probably just playing with his Christmas presents, or was it he, with his Christmas presents, and then suddenly, boom, a bullet comes through and kills him. Great, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. But the scarier thing is that in other places on the planet where people are not allowed to play with guns, a car thief could quite easily be, well, I say quite easily, I mean our police, in terms of, they get a little bit of grief, and they get a bit of grief from me, quite justifiably at times, but our police, at the end of the day, they're brave people, and by and large they try, most of them have got consciences, and they try to do as best job as they can, except that in a country where they've got ordinary citizens have got guns to play with quite legally, it suddenly gets very, very hard to do something like apprehend a car thief, which I was probably in the middle of saying could probably be done relatively straightforwardly by trained people over here. I'm not suggesting you try it, but the police, they do it. Do you know what I mean? And that situation could have been dealt with no one getting killed. With no one getting killed. You know, car theft is not a reason for the death penalty. You know, this is a totally barbaric society. This is the society that gives us, oh, Disney and Finding Nemo, and it's all from the heart, and all this kind of shit. And yet, they kill, their police kill children, their government let them play with guns. You know, it's just, it's just totally unacceptable, and it's just something that's just totally unfathomable to me. You know, it just really makes me okay. So on that note, happy Christmas world. Again, thanks for the 1,500 subscribers. Sorry I had to get that off my chest. I had to get it off my chest. I've got another thing that I want to get off my chest, but I'll do that in a separate video at some other point in time. Okay, but yeah. Thanks so much, and yeah, it is only about 9 AM here, and it's so dark, because the weather here is just really a bit, you know, yucky and cold and windy and rainy and stuff like that. So the light's appalling. But I actually think, looking at my screen here, I actually think that my little HD camera on my Canon 6D Mark II with only 60 frames per second is actually doing quite well. Okay, so yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.